Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be going over how Eric Bieniemy has really been changing the culture, and he's been making his presence felt in the Washington Commanders organization. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and the notification bell as well, and check out Man to Sleep, link in the description. So just got back from a camping trip, but one of the first things I saw was a story from, John Keim about how Eric Bieniemy has been making his presence felt. And I kind of wanted to talk about that. So if you guys want to read the whole article, I'll link it in the description for you guys to check out. Again, shout out John Keim. I'll be going through a few of the, tidbits of it, but a lot of the stuff I won't be talking about. You guys can go ahead and check that out and check out his YouTube channel or, his reports and podcasts on the Empire Media. But this offseason, Eric Bieniemy has done a lot of things to change this offense, and he's been doing a lot of different things than Scott Turner has been, that Scott Turner did in the last few years, bringing that intensity and making sure they're practicing like they're playing. And, sometimes Scott Turner did that. He probably tried to do that to the best of his ability, but his standards probably weren't as high as someone like Eric Bieniemy because, I saw in games them, walking out of the huddle, and Eric Bieniemy's not letting that slide in practice. So you better as a player not do that in a game, or you're probably getting benched. You're probably getting benched. And this is kind of a, Chris Bryant right here was at, OTAs, and, the offense was slow getting out of the huddle and team drills, and Eric Bieniemy says, hurry the F up, come on. The next few plays, they were zooming out of the huddle. So I'm going to get into the story, and I'll also go through a couple other examples from reporters that, happen in OTAs and mini camps. So, he talks about right here, Jahan Dotson didn't run fast enough on a route during an individual drill. And, Bieniemy shouted, this is not no half, what drills, sorry, still can't curse. But he says, run it again. And Dotson did as he was told. And he ran it again, but at faster speed. And let's see, Sam Howell dropped a shotgun snap on the second play in full team work. And, Bieniemy got mad and ordered everyone off the field. Give me the twos. We're going to do it right. Bieniemy yelled. And I feel like doing that just brings accountability to the offense that you can't slack off. And if you slack off, someone else is going to come and do your job for you. Like, you look at the running backs, you got Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson. Like, those are two very capable backs. And then, they just drafted Chris Rodriguez. And, Ron Rivera is not afraid to put in Jonathan Williams. So, they have guys, and I like Jarrett Patterson. So, if one guy is messing up, Eric Bieniemy's going to go ahead and put in someone else. And, like Terry said here, he's going to bring the intensity, which is what you want to do for sure. And Jonathan Allen talked about how he's noticed, his intensity, and he said he loved that style of coaching. And, a lot of the things Eric Bieniemy's done has kind of been a little bit like a head coach. And, he said, and this is kind of talking about how, he hasn't got a, head coaching job yet, but, we don't need to talk about that right now because, this is talking about the good part of Eric Bieniemy so far. And, that's the biggest thing, the intensity and just not letting people slack off in practice. And I like what Keim wrote here, and he says, it didn't matter if it was a starter such as Dotson or someone who might not make the roster. If they didn't run the play right, they would be chastised. Bieniemy got on receiver Kyrick McCowan, who's a second-year wide receiver out of Georgia State. During one practice for the depth of one route, he made him run again. McCowan played 10 snaps on offense last season. Another time, it's a backup center in rookie minicamp. So, again, it doesn't matter who it is. If it's Terry McLaurin, if he's not running his route right, Eric Bieniemy is going to get on him because, the players are going to be like, okay, if he's getting on Terry, if he's yelling at Terry, imagine what he's going to do to me if I mess a play up. So, I just like that from Eric Bieniemy. And Cosme said, he's just trying to push you. He's been a part of the Super Bowl teams, and you don't get that way without working your butt off and keeping people accountable. So, Sam Cosme gets it for sure, and he has a big year this year playing at right guard, so he's got to get on Bieniemy's good side. Real quick word from our sponsor today. And a huge shout out to Man to Sleep for sponsoring this video. Man to Sleep makes the best sleep masks in the world. They sent me one about 2 months ago, and I've been using it every single day, and it's been really helping me out, especially when I'm on vacation. It just makes it way easier to fall asleep and keeps me sleeping for as long as possible. They have a bunch of different sleep masks you guys can check out that change temperature, that change the sound as well. Got mine right here. Been using it for a while. Make sure you guys go ahead and check it out. Link in the description. Use code HDTC for 10% off. And there's a good story there about Antonio Gibson, so you guys can go ahead and check it out. Again, I don't want to give it all away, so make sure you guys go ahead and check out the story. Great story about Gibson there and how, yeah, I'm not going to spoil it, but go ahead and check it out. And then one thing Bieniemy said, he says, the thing I always stress is that I want us to have a sense of urgency and sense of purpose. Getting out of the huddle is probably the most important thing because you're setting a tone of the defense. I'm always critical of that I want us to execute our jobs with greater attention to detail. I absolutely love that. I thought that, Washington's offense last year was very slow at times, even when they needed to be fast. When it was a 2-minute offense, or let's say there was 8 minutes left in the game, but they were down by 2 touchdowns and they needed to score if they wanted any chance of winning, and they're just walking out of the huddle. And I'm like, what are we doing? And then when they did, run their quick offense, their 2-minute offense, it worked a lot of the times. So it just didn't make sense to me for, why he wasn't doing it more. And that's probably why, partly that, Scott Turner's out of here. Let's see. And Dotson talked about how Bieniemy stopped him after a play. He was like, you have so much potential. I'm going to make sure I get it out of you, or maybe after practice. Dotson said that's what you want in someone. That's kind of how my dad was at a very young age. He saw the potential in me and made sure I worked to get where I want to be in life. You got to cherish people like that in your life, so I'm super thankful to have him as a coordinator. And yeah, so that stuff, he's going to be hard on you, but at the same time, he has a little bit of a soft side, and he's going to take care of you. If you are doing right by him, he's going to do right by you. And I think that's kind of the type of guy Eric Bieniemy, is. And then, talk about the relationship right here with, Sam Howell and Eric Bieniemy. So again, really good story by Keim. Check it out. I think I'll also link Keim's, YouTube channel, or where he posts his podcast, Empire Media. So go ahead and check that out as well. And speaking of John Keim, there's another quote from him, and this is from Bieniemy. Says, we have X amount of time to get this S right, so get in the huddle and let's go. Again, he said he wants the players on offense to get in and out of the huddle quick, and he means it, because in practice he is yelling it all the time. And another example of him in practice is, Percy Butler got an interception off Howell, and Howell didn't pursue Butler, after Butler returned it. And, Bieniemy yells, you threw it, you go get it. So again, he's not letting these things slide in practice, and he wants these things, he wants these players to practice hard, and so that translates to the actual games. And I think it will. So already, if you just take out the schemes, I think he's miles better than Scott Turner, because, Scott Turner was a nice guy and all, and he probably had, some solid relationships with some of the players, but, he didn't have that alpha dog in him, and players aren't going to go out on these, interviews and talk to the media like they did about Scott Turner with Eric Bieniemy. It's just not going to happen while he's on the team. LaShawn McCoy talked about it after his career, but that's a little bit different. When he was off the team, same thing with Le'Veon Bell. But the guys on the team, they're not going to talk about Eric Bieniemy the way they did, about Scott Turner and how he was running the offense last year and even the years before, because Eric Bieniemy, he's not going to let that slide, and he's not going to get it to that point where people on the team are frustrated, where they feel like they need to go talk to the media. I think it's going to be not an elite offense this year, because again, we still got some weaknesses. We don't know how good the quarterback's going to be. Tight end room could be a little bit better. We'll see. Cole Turner could change that. Same thing with Logan Thomas. And then O-line is still far from elite. So, things are, we still need some improvements, but I'm liking the improvements we've been making, and that starts with bringing in Eric Bieniemy, because, like Keim said, he's making his presence felt. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.